am going to take my basic recipe and I am going to try to make a muffin that everybody knows, but it's very difficult to make because most of the recipes when they go to make a banana nut muffins, they're always started in a cake position of creaming and stuff, and then they want you to fold in at the end your nuts, and the nuts collapse to the bottom. And when you do it by the mixer like that, they go too high, they spill out, or they collapse, one or two. And believe me, I've made enough banana nut muffins to know this. So I'm going to sit there and try taking this basic recipe that I have. Yes, I'm back, Commander. I wasn't coming back, but I was thinking about it. I said, no, I'm going to do this. Banana nut muffins are not the easiest because of the recipes that are out there already. They're easy for you to buy, but the way they make them, they're still not really banana nut muffins. Though people say, but this is a banana nut because I bought banana nut. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. So we're going to sit there and see if we can get a banana nut muffin recipe that works 100% of the time and comes out right. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to warn you right now. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to swing it and see if we can do it this way instead of the other way. So let me we'll be chopping soon enough. You're going to need to melt 1/3 of a cup of butter. For those of you who don't know your measurements well, that's 5 tablespoons, and 1 teaspoon will equal 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. Also, set your oven at 400. My poor oven gets such a workout, I think someday it's going to take a vacation from me. Let's see, I refuse to work. You got to give me a day off. All right, so here we're going to see if this works. We have no idea. We're going to take a 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. Hope it works. I really do. Right, this will be another flop that goes down the drain with banana nut. Okay, and we're going to put 1 cup of all-purpose, and we're going to check this out and see if it works. Hi, Judy. I know I'm back. I said I wasn't going to do it. I was going to clean. I did some cleaning, and this just keeps on going across. This is one recipe that annoys me. Trying to make a good banana nut muffin. I've been thinking on it for a while, so I think I've got it. I'm going to use oat bran. I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup of oat bran. Because with the bananas and the nuts, don't worry about it. And we need 1/4 of a cup of regular sugar. Now, I haven't decided if I want light or dark brown, but I think I want light brown sugar this time because I don't want the molasses to take away from the banana, which is a nice, hi John, peanut gamer, watcher. We're going to make an attempt at making a banana nut muffin recipe that is guaranteed to work all the time. I have made hundreds of muffins, banana nut muffin recipes, and they're not guaranteed every time you make them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I want to make something that's going to stick together, that if you attempt it, it will work. So this is what we're working on. Okay. So we need 1/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. I'm using the light brown sugar because I don't want the molasses flavor to interfere with the flavor of the bananas. Or banana. It depends upon. But remember, you have to pack it tight. If you don't, it's not going to work. Light and dark brown sugar always have to be packed when you're measuring them out because of the molasses in them. Because you'll get air pockets and stuff and they won't get the right measurement that you want. All right, we want 3 tablespoons of wheat germ in this one. I'm just putting everything in one bowl right now. I haven't started mixing yet. Now we're covering the beans and the minerals and everything that we need. Okay, did I get down? No. Bake salt. All right, you need a half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. All right, the next one, listen to me carefully. If you make your own baking powder, do not add this next ingredient. If you buy your baking powder, you're going to have to add to this recipe a teaspoon of baking soda. Mine is homemade, so I bypass it all the time. I don't need it. Now we're going to mix this up. It's an apron, idiot. Okay, so we're going to mix this up. The reason I use my hands with light and dark brown sugar is to make sure I get the lumps out. I have a mixer, but listen, I could burn it out, so if I can do a lot of things by hand and stuff, I will. All right, we have this. We're going to get the nuts ready. Let me put this away for a minute. I'm using pecans. Now, some people like walnuts with their banana nut muffin. I find walnuts have more of an earthy taste. I want a milder nut, so I'm using pecans in this recipe. Let's see. Thinking of how many nuts I want to add. All right, that's. Let me see. I'll tell you in a minute. I'm still thinking. 2/3 is a little more. Add some more nuts. Add a cup. Okay, I like nuts. So what can I say? If you don't like a lot of nuts, you can cut back on it, but I favor nuts in the food. And remember, nuts and seeds are a lot of things that you need. When you have these, if these come out the way I think they're going to, you have a guarantee that you can make banana nut muffins and they will not fail. Now, with all the cookbooks I have, do you believe I found 4 more I want? I just never learn. But there's so many recipes to try and different ways of making things. And it's just like a crafter, man. Once she starts one craft, she ends up with tons of them. Next thing you know, she has to have a special room just to put everything. There's so many beautiful things and so many lovely recipes to try. How could you want to eat the same thing, instant food, every day in and day out? Oh man, I go insane. I need variety. I don't think God meant us to sit there and have bland food. All right, that's a good cup, right? Isn't that a good cup? Maybe a little more. Anyway, it's in the vicinity of. Now we're going to coat these nuts, because if you don't, they're going to fall to the bottom. This is why you usually see me adding flour to things, or I'll put them in the dry ingredients to make sure. Even if I'm using dried fruit, fresh fruit, There is a slight moisture which will pull it through. Yeah, it's getting there, Jason. Anna, I am trying to make a foolproof banana nut muffins that people can make without the failures that go along with them. Because a lot of them, when they make banana nut muffins, they treat it like a cake. And if people don't know what they're doing, it fails. So this is why I'm doing this. And if we can get these to taste the way I want them to and move them forward, then you can make these and not have to sit there and say, I can't. Sometimes it's not you, it can be the recipe. Well, go ahead, Daly, if that's what you want. Yeah, that's what I'm making. Hi, Liam, Jasmine, Daly, my gold. I like that. Sandwich. I already ate. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to need 1 cup of mashed potatoes. Mashed bananas. What am I talking about? I don't know if this is going to be enough. I'm going to have to mash it first and then I'll measure it out and find out if I have enough. Now, if you don't have a masher, get a fork and mash it. It'll work just as well. But we're just going to get 1 cup of mashed bananas. That's all we want. And the more you mash it, the more the sugars come out. So if you have fresh bananas like this, mash it a little more until you get that sugar going. I usually like my bananas black when I go to do this because they're really sweet then. Okay, that's not enough. We'll just get another one. Throw it in there. Has anybody ever tried the red bananas you see in the store? I've never had those. Cooking, Mr. Piff. Okay, Lamb. Manuel. Oh, not yet. We'll get there soon enough. I think half might do this one. I'll put the other half in the refrigerator. A lot of people don't like making banana nut muffins because of the complications if they have problems with them. So I'm trying to make one that is guaranteed 24/7 whenever you want to make it. Yeah, it's in my head, Kimberly. I do it all the time. No, banana nut muffins. Trying to give a guaranteed banana nut muffin. And I think the reason people have trouble with it is because they're always making it like a cake, like a banana nut cake, and this is where they lose it, and bananas are not cakes. So you shouldn't have to go in that direction. Okay, got a cup of that. We will use 2 eggs. So these will be very rich. Let's see, what else do I want to add? We're going to use yogurt in place of milk. So this will give it a tartness. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want it real watery. If it's too watery, they're going to collapse and be flat. But I feel yogurt has more firmness to it, so it should hold better for its shape. That's what I'm working on. And how much do we want? A half a cup. Okay. We'll see how this comes out. Because a lot of people will add milk, they flour it, and it just doesn't work all the time. So I need to get you down to see if I'm at a half a cup. Okay. Okay. So if this works out, you guys can mark this down as a guarantee for banana nut muffins. Okay, and you want 2 teaspoons of vanilla. With all the flavors we've got in here, we want this vanilla to come out and slap us. Yeah, we're going to put it in. I'm going to see how it comes out. Okay, we got 2 eggs, and we got yogurt, and the banana in here. And we're going to add the melted butter, which is 1/3 of a cup. That's going to go dirty that up for me. Okay. Okay, if I mess this up, we're going to be adding more flour. Well, here goes, we're going to find out. Now, the reason I used butter, it's thicker than oil in this aspect, and I wanted to make sure I didn't have too much liquid. So you can see why I used what I did. And because the yogurt is thicker than milk, it should be just fine. Okay. It's not mixed all the way. See, it's not mixed all the way. You can see that. Hello, Christina, UK. Oh, I love banana cake, don't worry. I did have coffee this morning, believe it or not. I wanted coffee this morning when I got up. So it's whatever I feel like having. Now this works. You've got a guaranteed muffin recipe that will not fail you. But I'm not going to know until they cook And if they fail, we'll find out soon enough. At least I will, definitely. And we'll go back to the drawing board. That's how I always look at it. A lot of people don't put nuts in theirs, they just put just a little. I can understand it. Homesteading, that I could see that because you're just starting, you know, to get things to grow. But once they grow, you can get heavy-handed. Looks like this is going to make a good amount. I was just sitting at the table, just finishing up with talking with my son, one of them, and this came across, said, you might be able to pull this one off, just change it some. I said, okay, but we'll try changing it. Well, I got enough for 13, and I only got 12 right here to pack in. Okay, well, might not cook this last one. Well, I'll see. We're going to put them in and see how they come out in 20 minutes. And may they come out perfect. I have no guarantee if that ratio is going to work, but we're going to see. Hi, Boo Boo, so soft, UK. No, because I'm going to waste the whole dough, so I might as well, you know, just put the whole thing in. When you go to do it, you've got all this batter. So if I'm going to cook 2, I might as well just cook 12. If they come out, it's fine. If they don't, well, back to the drawing board. That's how you have to look at it. Because I would have the batter on the side because I didn't set it for 2. I actually made a batch. So and by the way, that chili came out delicious. It's the fastest chili I've ever made. Not just standing over a pot. It was like ABC. I have just enough left of this chili, and we're going to sit there, and I'm going to have chili dogs, I think, on Friday, if not Friday, Saturday. So I look forward to that. That will be very interesting. We have to wait for the muffins now. There's nothing more I can do. 20 minutes. All right, that'll be about 50, 51. I am doing very well, Sade. Chili dogs? Yes. Yes, we're going to have those. Dogs. Baked potato dogs? Never heard of that. Wiping everything off because I have to put everything out. This one I didn't make extremely hot, but it's warm, but you can add more cayenne in the recipe. Add more if you want. Okay, he's on it. Oh, okay. I like to use fresh bread when I make meatloaves. somebody asked me, I just made a meatloaf not long ago, I think, and it was stuffed with spinach. It came out really nice. Just have to have a little patience, but it worked very, very well. Food. All right, I guess you could use cereal too. See, my thing is I try to get away from all the chemicals as much as possible, even to the point of making my own breadcrumbs. You know, I make sourdough bread or regular bread. I slice it like 1 inch thick, and I dry it, and I'll grind it up. Yes, I do. I do can. I'm not canning right now. I can. Yesterday, I canned my stock that I made. I cooked down the vegetables. I was talking about it yesterday, what they look like after I run them through the mill. Cook them down and everything. But I did can them. But I do can. Mathis, I'm just going to say math. I think I said that wrong. Hi. What are you talking about? The yogurt? No, that's not goat milk. That's good too. If you want, just all you have to do is grind it up. If you know how cereals are made. Here. Go back down here. Over it. I'm just putting things up. Well, no, well, UK, it's true, but there are other combinations that can set your mouth off as well, and seasonings and cakes and stuff. Everybody has it a little different than other people. Like, I have a recipe for a potato cake. I want to try that one. All right, let's see what else gets put up. This gets put up. We're getting there. Women used to have a lot of time in the kitchen for food. You can disagree with me, but the more stuff you buy pre-made outside, the more unhealthy you will get. And it won't show when you're young. It's when you get old. Sickness is going to set in. Society even has it set now that when we're sick, you're on medicine and all these other problems. I am going to be 73 in days now, and I'm not on any medication, and I still work and carry on. So if a wife doesn't want to cook and she'd rather have money and save, fine. You know, but the health of the family is going to pay. And when she gets old, she has the arthritis and the aches and pains, or she sees her husband sick and she was hoping that they could enjoy retirement, or the children aren't as healthy and as cranky and everything else, so she could look at herself because she didn't do what she was supposed to do. Just as simple as that. It is. Thank you, Denise. Den? Yeah, Denise. I'll get it straight. Now, I think this weekend, maybe Saturday morning, I'm going to make some very unusual biscuits. They are going to be made with yam and pecans. And these are biscuits that we're going to be making. So if you wish to tune in, You can get stuff that you need normally for your biscuits, and we're going to be using that. We're going to use the yams, and we're going to use pecans, so they're going to be a little different. Yeah, a lot of it I do manual as much as I can. JR, hi. Marg, hi. I try to get away. As I learn through my life certain things, I just keep moving forward. A lot of people say you're going backwards, but if I have a choice of taking quick foods pre-made with chemicals in them, and getting old, taking a shortcut in life and in old age, knowing that I'm going to be greeted with medications, aches and pains and everything else, or I can sit there and eat healthy, spend more time in the kitchen for my health, and know that I can hit old age without all the aches and pains and enjoy my life in retirement. Believe you me, I'm going to take this one before I take this one. I mean, how would you feel if you were younger than me, and when you get in your 50s and I'm 80 or 90 and this channel's still going on and I haven't taken any medicine or anything, and you're already taking medicine and stuff, you can't say one word. I mean, you can make fun now. You can, but only time will tell. That's how it is. Time will get to you every time. Your body does not forget one thing that you've done to it. Yeah, Kimberly, it'd be mashed yams with pecans and biscuits. Every morning is usually when I do it, and afternoon is usually something special or something. I am going to be 73. I gotta put this up. All right, we've got a few more minutes. They do smell good though. I'm talking about the preservatives. Okay, food. No, I'm saying for me, food. If you're taking it that way, sorry. I talk about myself, that I've made it this far, cooking a certain way, okay? You might like taking medicine in old age, fine, have fun. I can only care for my family and me. I can give advice about how to mix things that I have read and learned from the ARE, from Julia Child, James Beard, and Adele Davis, okay? But if you wish to buy instant food, go ahead. But if you get sick in old age, your body will make you pay for it. You ought to read the chemicals. Do you bother reading what's on a can? Do you? When I had to buy that stuff for the chili I made this morning, I was in the tomato section a good 10 minutes trying to find something that didn't have a preservative in it, and I finally did. You know, food, you're extremely sensitive. I had to bury my husband, and I saw what medication did to him and what it did. So you can't. And I got the PDR, and I read it to see why my husband's body was falling apart with everything that I was doing, trying to save his life. So if you feel that low, this station, this channel with me, I'm going to put it out there if you like it or not. If you knew what aspirins did to the human body, you would be shocked. And that's a simple medicine, a very simple one. Short term, but long term is another thing. So we'll just see when you hit old age and you love the aches and pains and everything else. This channel is to teach you how you can take your food, make it more nutritious to hold back sickness and illness. Do you know that morning sickness comes from a B6 deficiency? Do you know why people smoke? Because they're missing niacinamide. Do you know why people's legs swell or women end up with a pregnancy mask? Do you know why people have circles under their eyes? Do you know how much protein you're supposed to get at each meal? Do you know the balance of vegetables above the ground to below the ground? And why the acidity? Do you know why you end up with cholesterol problems? Do you know that if you're missing one bee, it throws all the bees off in your system? B2 causes veins to come close to the surface, which I have on my face. I have them. That's because I have a B2 because my mother was drinking when she carried me. Do you know how people, they tell you, Elvis Presley had 50 pounds of shit in him. Well, they measure bowel movements come out, and you wonder why people are bloated in the middle here? They're carrying it. Why isn't the body able to cleanse itself out? Shall we continue in this vein? Buy food. No, food doesn't like being put in his place. Say I'm shaming people. I'm not shaming people. I put it out here. You can do what you want. There's always somebody trying to put, somebody who's trying to bring information to say, no, listen, you want your health as long as you can. Nobody likes being sick. Nobody likes having to stay up with sick children all the time. You know, teenagers don't like acne. Well, that's because their acids are unbalanced. Okay, a lot of this we know basic, but nutritionally down to the fine cell structure and the working of the cell, we don't know. But they have noticed that when certain nutrients are missing, certain things happen. This is why we know, but we don't know a lot. So I figured, in my simple philosophy is I'm going to give it everything and let it take what it needs to make sure I cover all grounds. You're going to have a pressure cooker. I don't know what a slow cooker is, but if a slow cooker acts like a pressure cooker where it builds the pressure up in it, it'll work. I tried boiling bones for like 4 days. Boiling, you can't get the knife into it, so my husband bought me a pressure cooker, and that's what I use. But try a slow cooker, all right? If you go to a butcher, you're going to have to pay a couple of dollars, but you can get him to cut the bones, tell him what you want to make, bone broth, and he'll cut the bones down to a reasonable size to fit, okay? I've never used a slow cooker. No, a slow cooker won't do it. You're going to need a pressure cooker. Because I have a slow cooker here. Yeah, that's right. Slow cookers for your vegetables. You can do that. The bone, you're going to definitely have to have a pressure cooker because the pressure is going to have to, with that pressure is going to pull those minerals out. And you have to watch it every 2 hours to check to make sure you don't run out of water. Okay? Arizona, not far from where I grew up. I grew up in Texas. Okay, Mom. Miriam? Yeah, a slow cooker, no. When I was thinking of slow cooker, no. Slow cooker I use for my vegetable stocks. I'll collect the peelings and all, 2 bags, frozen bags. I keep them in the freezer till then. I add water and I let it cook for 24 hours on slow. Then I get a strainer with a towel in it and I pour it through there and I squeeze that towel as tight as I can to get as much out as I can. and that's your stock. If you don't can it, you can put it in a large jar or a pitcher in the refrigerator and just use it until it, you know, it goes bad. California, okay, Carla. Canceled. Hello from Oregon. All right. Amore, hi. Kimberly, you're welcome. Okay. I can't believe people. I really can't. Anything I tell you, if you don't believe me, please go check it out. All right? I'm not going to tell you I am God and I know everything. I don't. I know I don't. I know scientists don't and everything else. So I cover my tracks, but if you have a question and you're not sure, I want you to go look it up. I would feel better if you do that for your comfort and for your feeling comfortable with yourself. You read it and then see. Okay. We're going to check these. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm going to leave them in 2 more minutes. You're welcome, Kimberly. Adrian, yes, watcher from Oregon. So I always tell people, I'm human. I can make mistakes, okay? But I read the PDR. Is medicine good for you? I think in short terms, yeah, because your body could fight it after it does what it has to do. But long term, Nope, 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 nope. I mean, my muscles let me know after I got done shoveling that last storm. Oh. And it still lets me know periodically. Hi, Makin, Adrian. We'll try these. I think we've got to go on this one. See how they don't? That's what they want. Now some muffins, the muffins are supposed to dome just like this, you know, just be a nice half a circle, that's a dome, okay? Now if you get these muffins, when you get them rising, sometimes they come up on the side and then they come up tall like that and then come down. They're not supposed to look like that. They're supposed to be an actual dome. That's why I say I have trouble using all these banana nut muffins recipes that they have. And I'm going to move this over because I'm going to have to take them out after they cool a bit, and I'll try one and let you know how they are. So this is one muffin that is difficult to make, only because of the way it acts. Hi, Markin. Hi, Carla. Okay. See, one thing I've learned about people, and I am not immune from this from anybody else. We will do what we will do if you like it. You could talk till you're blue, like you have children, right? You raise them, you punish them, you correct them to not do something. They're going to go do it anyway. I've already had 2 cups today. I don't think I could have any more. I'd be pooped out. These are very light. Okay, you see that? There they are. It's still pretty warm. I can't cut it. I'm holding it, hoping it'll cool down a bit. Okay. Because if this works and the flavor's great, you've got a banana nut muffin recipe. You can guarantee each and every time it will rise and have full flavor. Does this tell you how hot it is? Look at all that steam. I'm going to try this. God. You got it? They came out. I don't know what this little XA thing is, whatever it is. Oh, they're very, very light. Leave them in the pan for about 5 minutes after you take them out. Let them set. This is how light they are in spite of all that we did. This is definitely a muffin recipe you can enjoy. I guarantee banana nut muffins will always come out. Yeah, boo-boo, I got it. I've still got 2 more muffins to bake. So listen, I'm going to let you guys go. If you want to check out things that I tell you, by all means go. You can go to the ARE, Association for Research Enlightenment. You can read Adele Davis's books. You can sit there and check what Julia Child, James Beard talk about. If you have friends from other countries, when you talk to them about the way they cook, they have different ways of cooking, which introduces a new way to you. The only one I really have trouble with is Chinese food. Walks in those flames and I just don't get along. But anyway, you take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to finish this muffin and finish cooking the last 2. So bye-bye.